What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today I want to do a formation breakdown on I formation tight in NCAA Football '06. I've had this formation on my mind for the last couple of days, and I want to see if maybe today I can get something extra out of it that I may be able to use down the road with a team that best suits that formation or what have you. So let's get right into it. As usual, I'd like to start out with the formation itself. This is if I can get to my cursor, let's use yellow. This is a 22 personnel set because you got 2 running backs, then you got 2 tight ends giving you 22 personnel. Then we will go into the sub packages. Your first sub package is your twin halfback set. It just puts your number 1 and your number 2 halfbacks in the backfield. Next up, we have backup QB. That's pretty standard across all formations. So is a halfback sub. It just puts your backup at the halfback spot. Then you got a halfback flanker. I think this is pretty cool, and that's just, you don't have too many formations in this game. There's like a handful where it lets you put your top running back out at wideout, usually at the Z receiver spot on the far right. But I think it's pretty cool that you could do that. You can have some real neat matchup nightmare issues for the defense, depending on the type of halfback that you have. Next up, we have wide receiver sub. It just puts your number 2 wide receiver right there. And then we have jumbo. It gets your number 1 and your number 2 fullback into the game. And that is it for your sub packages. Now I want to talk about your motions with your receiver. So let's pick a standard pass play to showcase these. If you hit the down arrow on the D-pad, you start off with your halfback. He can go a couple different directions. He can go to the far left, and if you zoom out, this gives you basically an ace normal look, except you got your fullback in at halfback, and of course he's in the fullback position. But I think that's pretty interesting. Then you can bring him over to the far right. Then you got an ace twins look, more or less. So that's pretty cool as well. I think there's a lot of opportunities when you motion guys around like this. You just never know. A lot of it depends on the halfback route or whoever you're motioning back out of the backfield to the wideout position. Like this is a pretty good good route right there with the halfback on that circle route. Very good against man, especially in that particular position. It's just little stuff like that you may want to play around with. All right, next person up is your number 1 tight end, and he's on the right. He can only go in one direction, and that is to the left. By doing that, you have an I formation. It's the I form twin tight end look, flipped. But that's all he can do there. Next up, you have your wide receiver. He can only go in one direction. That's to the left. And you can put him back. And then, last but not least, you have your fullback. He can go to the far left. This is like, I don't know, I've never been able to make good use of this particular motion. It just depends on his route and stuff. And I haven't fooled around enough with his blocking to see if it's very useful or not. I haven't practiced it enough. I could be more useful to have him sitting right there. I guess it just depends on the run play and the pass play. I'm not quite sure. But you can also move him to the right side as well. And those are the only 4 people that you can move around. You cannot move the other tight end. Okay? Now let's get out of here and let's start off with our very first play. For the remainder of the video, what I'm probably going to do is stick with the twin halfback look. Because if we go to our depth chart, I think our starting fullback isn't very fast. And our fullback is going to get the ball a lot out of this formation. So because of this, I got 2 equally talented halfbacks. Therefore, I will probably just use the twin halfback look going forward. So our very first play is going to be halfback ISO. We'll select that. And for the purposes of this video, it's no different than the power I formation. On your standard downs across the field, you're going to go up against the base set of whatever team you're going up against. In this case, it's Pitt, and they run a 4-3 defense. Unless it's maybe 3rd and 1, 4th and 2, goal line, that's when you may see the goal line formation or a heavier set from the defense. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to treat it as this is one of your main formations that you'd like to use any at all times. So we're going to go up against a 4-3. And let's just start off with cover 2 man is fine. It doesn't matter. It's a run play. Doesn't matter where you run this at. It could be left hash, middle, right. Doesn't make a difference. Since it's man, I'm always more apt to run to the outside because you just don't see a whole lot of holes open up the middle in the A gaps. And I don't know, I mean, forgive me, I'll just go through some of this. I don't know if anybody ever knew this, but this is your A gap, this is your B gap, this is your C gap, and this is your D gap. And it's the same over here. A, B, C, and then D. I don't know if, you hear me say this stuff all the time throughout my videos, and maybe some of you out there don't know what that means. But those are your gaps. Whenever I say A gaps, it's between your center and your guards. B gap is between the guards and the tackles, and so on and so forth. So for ISO, it's designed to go up the A gap, maybe the B gap. Now, thankfully, with this particular play, you can flip it to the right or to the left. So with triangle, you can bring up your hot routes, and with the D-pad left, you can run to the left. D-pad to the right, you can go to the right. Since the defense shifted more or less to the left, I'm going to run to the right. And since this is man, I would love to find a hole up the middle. We probably won't find it. We'll just probably end up going to the outside. But like any other run play, just try not to use the speed button too hard, if not at all, until you got an open field. That's just perfect defense there, so we can just try it again. Let's go to the left this time since everybody and their brother shifted to the right. Much better. Oh, that's going to be decent blocking there. Let's try it again. We can go to the right this time. Wow, just nobody's blocking on this play. Let's keep going. We'll make it work eventually. Am I even going to get a yard? Let's keep going. Wow, nobody's blocking on this play. Got to make it look half. Wow, I can't even get a yard. Do I need to do random formation or something? Look at this. I guess man cover 2 is perfect against this play. I don't get it. Right guard got demolished. At least we found some yards there. Either way, what we can do is let's go up against a random formation. So they're still going man, but we don't know which man it is. Let's go to the right. My right guard got demolished. I swear this play works halfway decent. It's just not. There we go. That was a little bit better. Now you're off to the races for easy 6 points. The biggest thing is like any other run, just don't abuse the speed button and follow your blocks as best you can. But if you can find some way to go up the A or B gap, that makes the run look even more fun because that's kind of what it's meant to do. Like we can go up against a cover 3 and we can try the nice little hole right there. Break this play down. I saw a hole up the A gap on the left side. No speed button whatsoever. Just go right up there. That's always fun to do if you can. Since they were going zone, you have more possibilities to cut up field in one of those gaps. Against man, it's just a little bit tougher. But that's about as simple as a run play as you can ask for. But at least you can run to the left or you can run to the right. You can move guys around if needed. Just however you want to do it. Not a bad play if you got the hosses up front and you're going up against a defense that's kind of weak up the middle. But I don't mind it. I actually prefer slam at times, but still, it's still a great play. Very simple. All right, next up we're going PA fullback flat. This is your spider 2Y banana concept. And before we go there, for the sake of this video, let's go to practice type and go do the pass skeleton. It's just going to be easier on us. So let's go up against, for now, let's just go up against a cover 0, which is fine. And here is the play. The way I would design this, let me see. Let's go with a different color this time. Let's go with blue since it's man. The way I normally like to do this is my tight end is my cover 0 beater. And if it's cover 1 or cover 2, the other 3 guys are great for this. You can go to your receiver, you can go or to your fullback, you can go to your tight end on the dig. All of these options work pretty well. But if I had my druthers, I would be doing it like this. This would be my progression. This is cover 0. My number 1 read is this guy right here. If I don't see cover 0, we're going to go to our fullback out here technically. If he's not open, I may want to go to wide receiver over here, and my number 3 read would be like right here. So technically, my cover 0 is always my first read, then your second, third, fourth, and so on and so forth. So if it's cover 0, I would like to go to the tight end because he's our deep route. Then my next read, it's always the fullback in the flat because he can get great separation from his defender. Look how he's like 10 yards away from the guy. Let's see if we can make a better throw to him. Make it look halfway decent. Even against an impact guy, that's a terrible throw. I threw that too loud, but you saw the separation. If I don't want to go to him, you may get decent separation for your wide receiver. Look at that. Easy yards there. A lot of it depends on this receiver getting blocked by somebody. You see this right here. This is his defender. You're hoping he gets bunched into somebody right there. He got clogged down by one of our tight ends, and that forces this wide receiver to get a lot of separation. Look at that. That's what you're hoping for. That's not always a guarantee, but it's a possibility. If for whatever reason you don't want to go to him or you can't, he's double teamed or whatever, you can try to go to your tight end on the dig. Just be leery of somebody lingering over the middle or a double team or something like that. It's possible. Okay, so those are your man beaters. Next up, we can go up against cover 2, and I'll show you what the best way to do that, how to attack it. Okay, now let's look at this again. Let's pick a different color. We'll go red this time, or pink. The way I like to do this, the only downside to this play is that cover 2 is a little iffy. It's a little meh, if you ask me. So, the only decent cover 2 beater is your tight end. Cover 2 here. You can ignore the tight end on this side right here. Your wide receiver, this is cover 3 for me. And cover 4 is going to be your fullback. So if we are in cover 2, if the defense is cover 2, and you see those two safeties back out like that, this is your best opportunity. I can go to my fullback and look what happens. He's covered by the corner. It's just not a very good play there. You can try your wide receiver, but you have this problem right there. You can even try the tight end on the left, and it's just too crowded right there. It's just not worth it. So again, what I would do is this would be my cover 2 guy right here. Cover 3, and then cover 4, and don't worry about this guy. So what we're going to do next is go up against a cover 4, or a cover 3. We'll go here. If you go cover 3, like I said, we want to go to the wide receiver. That's a little better matchup. You're going up against a slower linebacker. And if you time it right, he can get a little separation, kind of get away from him a little bit as such. And you can get decent yards with him. You can't go cover 3 to, like, this is a possibility. It's just, I don't know, it's a double team. It's just not worth it. You can try the fullback, but look what happens. It gets covered. So again, cover 3, I recommend you just go to the wide receiver, and you can get some yards there. Not all cover 3s are the same, but in general, I think you have a better chance going cover 3, attacking it to this side. Okay. Next up, let's go up against quarters. Then after that, I'll show you the other downside to this play. We'll go quarters. Like I mentioned, your fullback is your quarters beater. So when you snap the ball, you see all 4 safety or all 4 defenders go back. Look how wide open he is. So much better. I don't know if the wide receiver gets open. He may. Wide receiver is not a bad option either. So that's a decent cover 4 beater. I always prefer to go to the fullback because he doesn't get the ball often enough in this play. Plus, he has more field to work with than the wide receiver. But it's still a possibility to go over here to the wide receiver. That's not bad. Okay, now here is the problem with this play. If you notice, we can go back and look at this. I have a right-handed quarterback. The play action is okay quick. It's not the best, but it's just okay. But what happens if we flip the play? When you flip it and we'll say let's run it on the right hash, look how slow this is. It's one of those very slow play action plays. By the time he gets in his stance and gets ready to throw, he's probably going to get sacked. I'm going to get blasted right here. So it's just not worth it to me. That's why, as is with a right-handed quarterback, I recommend it that you use this off the left hash. If you have a lefty, you flip it and you run it off the right hash. Okay? Next up, we have a run play. So let's go back. If I can get to it. There we go. Next up, you have triple option reverse. This is your standard just triple reverse play. I don't have a speedy quarterback to make this work. At least I don't think I do. We can check here. I haven't looked at our... No, we don't have any speedy quarterbacks. Just your basic triple option. At least you can flip it. You can go to the left if need be. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to the left, but I have to hit the right button on the D-pad in order to do that. So when I hit triangle and hit left, now it makes me want to go right. I think it's based off what the fullback is doing and not so much what the halfback and quarterback are doing. But either way, we'll go to the left. Maybe get some yards here. You pitch the ball better if you don't use the speed button. I think they're going man. We can like move our running wide receiver over. Barely got it off in time, but at least I'm off to the races. You can try giving it to your fullback. You could just read a bit of a... I thought there was going to be a hole there. I think with the triple reverses, and somebody maybe can correct me on Castle Ford. I know he's a option guru. You can still read this direction like you see right here. I have the fullback going to the left of the formation, so I would probably read this guy. If he was coming in, I would probably try to go to the outside. But if he was going to the outside, I maybe just cut in. It's super hard to judge that. I mean, you just really have to practice it. Or you can try to cut up the middle with the fullback if you see a hole. I don't know. It's just, I'm not very familiar with the triple reverse. I haven't done it enough. But I think you could do some decent things with it. It's meant to be as like a change-up play more so than a staple. But at least you can move the play back and forth. Okay, next up, we have counter Trey. Let's just go up against just random formation is fine. Now, we'll look at the pulling guard. This is a run play, so it doesn't matter where you run it from. They're going zone. Let's just snap it and see what happens. Now, I can already tell you this isn't a very good play because your pulling guard is super slow. You snap the ball, and look, he's still in his stance. That's not what you want to see. You want him to pull as soon as you snap it. So this isn't a very good play, and it got blown up. We can try it again. I think maybe you may luck out, and wow, that didn't even work at all. The running back didn't even get the ball there. That's interesting. Let's go back to the left again. So this is how you learn things. This is a glitchy play because if you notice, if you ever run it to the left, look what happens. The quarterback, for whatever reason, keeps it. That's just a glitch. So I'm going to say right now, because of the guard not pulling quick enough, and you basically can't run to the left with it because your quarterback keeps it. The only way I could see that as a positive is if your quarterback's fan. I don't know. It's not a positive at all. I can't talk myself into that one. That's just a bad play overall. You can flip it left or right, which is nice, I guess. But see, I'm going back to the left again. Hey, the halfback got it that time. I still wouldn't take a chance on it whatsoever. So if I was you, we could try it one more time. Yep, there he goes. Now, if you had a speedy quarterback, no, you can't. It's a busted play. So now at least you know it's just probably not worth using. All right, PA boot. We can go back to pass skeleton. PA boot is no different than any other PA boots, like from I normal and I guess some of the ace formations. But we can go up against a cover zero is fine for now. Right now, if you wanted, like normally I would run this off the right hash just because it just kind of works better with you got a short zone beater and stuff. But my cover zero, obviously, let's go pick a blue this time. My cover zero is obviously this guy right here on the go route. But if it's man, you may want to motion him over here so he has all this field to work with instead of you're fighting against the sideline. So what we can do, since we're going up against a cover zero, let's move him over. This seems a little bit easier, is to do that. Now he's being double teamed. I may pick a play that didn't work with that. Or you could do like a half step with the wide receiver. Make it a little easier there. Am I even going up against cover zero? Let's try that again. Let's do the storm red. Surely this is cover zero. Oh, I picked the wrong play. That was smart. Let's try this again. Go here, and then let's do Storm Red. That's fine. Bring him over. Whoa, what happened there? The safety left. He vanished. He gone. That was really weird. There he is. Let's see that happen again. Oh, that's so weird. That must be an emulator problem. So now you're going up against 11 on 10. Let's try. Now I'm curious. Let's go back. Let's do normal. I'm curious to see if that happens. I actually want to try that out in a game and see if he vanishes. That would be pretty funny if he did. Let's bring this guy over. No, he does. Okay, that must just be a practice thing against Pass Skeleton. Either way, you can move this around. This is your cover 0 beater. You've seen this 100 million times. It's just your standard go route over the top. Okay, the rest of it, I would not recommend this guy at all for man. Just that flag rat is just kind of tough to throw to. Your next man beater, my honest opinion, is your fullback right here. Maybe your tight end would be number 2. So if we go back and do this, that's what, L1? There's just not going to be a whole lot there. You can try the tight end. I'm a little worried about the tight end going over the middle. It's okay. This is honestly, I think this is a better zone beater play than a man. I think they brought both safeties. That's why I went to him. So your man options aren't all that great. Like, we can go back and I can show you what that flag route looks like. Against, let's go cover 2 man's fine. I can never seem to get it to him. It's just, he's covered up, and it's just not a very good route against man. But against zone, you see me run this 100 million times. Let's go up against like a cover 2. Your cover 2 is when you have this area right here going to be your cover 2. If it's, like I said, a cover 2. And if it's anything else, I usually just go to the fullback. I think at cover 3, you can get to this tight end, but we can try that. But since this is cover 2, we can fire it in there to this guy right here. Want the best throw? Let's try it again. That's a great play by the corner. He caught up with him. I was actually surprised by that. That's a little bit better. Got more towards the sideline. But let's try it against cover 3. Here's what I was interested in. Let's go cover 3. For some reason, at certain cover 3s, I think your tight end on the right can get open. There you go. Well, that safety done a great job. He looked wide open. I may have to do this quicker. Or I could just get sacked. Let's try this again. Maybe not. And maybe that's just a tight throw. Maybe you just don't need to bother with that guy altogether. For some reason, he looks so open right there, but then you throw it to him. There we go. That's a little bit better. Otherwise, if it's not cover 2, I'm going to go to my fullback. He can get a little bit open here. He's like a little safety valve just in case you can't get to your wide receiver over the top. Do a medium, just a basic press of the button there. Quarters, it should be the exact same way, so I'm not even going to bother looking at that. Now, the one big positive with this play is you can flip it. We got a right-handed quarterback, but if we flipped it and say we go to the left hash, it's just as quick on the play action. And he's already ready to go. So that's a good positive right there. So if you feel like you need to attack a free safety or somebody on the left, you could do that with this play because it's equally as quick. So that's just something to think about. Pretty good play there. Next up, we got halfback slam. This is probably my favorite run concept in the game. It lets you go inside and out quickly. So let's just go up against a standard random formation stuff here. Treat it no different than ISO. Just follow your blocks. As you can see here, it's meant to go up either the A or the B gap. Technically, it's designed when you run it to go up the B gap or even to the outside as such. But the blocking's pretty solid here. I like it a whole lot. Man or zone, it doesn't matter. Follow your blocks. Cut up field whenever you can. Like, look at this. Is a great play right here. Just a great run. And if you think about it, look how many people's in the box right here. I mean, we got everybody and their brother is right here. So it's only natural. Yes, it's fun to kind of go up these lanes if you can. But when everybody and their brother is around this little area, doesn't it just make sense to go to the outside while this open grass is at? Hey, there's Mickey Mouse. Either way, it's something to think about. You know, if you got a 4 wide set, yes, you may want to get up closer to the center where, you know, you're just trying to find space and run through it if possible. Let's see, looks like they're going man here. We can go to the left, get a few yards there. Again, just your basic run play. I like it a whole lot. There's not much to it. And thankfully, you can go to the left or to the right. You can flip it. Next up, let's see. We got tight end corners. Just by looking at it, this is probably a right hash play for me. So let's go up against, say, cover 0. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of any of the cover 0 beaters. There's not a whole lot there to work with. Your time, I'm fixing to get sacked. I may have to... Don't judge what happens in practice by what may happen in the game. You may never see enough blitzing on these types of plays. But let's go up against pass skeleton. Just make it a little bit easier so you don't have to see so many sacks. Where's it at? Tight end corners. Let's go cover 0. You got 2 tight ends doing that. I mean, you can audible one to a go route if it's a little bit easier for you. That's probably what I would do. You may not be able to do that if you got home field advantage turned on and you're on the road in a hostile environment. Or you could do just a basic press of the button and maybe one of your tight ends. See, that's just a terrible throw. It's so hard for a good quarterback to make that type of throw in this game. We can try it again. It's a little bit better, but he's going inward. But you could go to one of the tight ends for your cover 0 beater. Otherwise, if it's cover 1, cover 2, I probably would recommend your wide receiver. Just a little whip route. If you need to, you can bring him over a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. You notice the way when you're playing a game and you can't see the wide receiver coming until he gets on your screen. So when you zoom in, if I can get to it, if it'll let me. And let's try that again. There we go. Let's go back here. Now, normally, I'm snapping the ball right here, and I can't see the wide receiver on the right. What I always like to look at is my quarterback. If you see his foot, he does a foot stomp. Once he does a stomp, that's enough for me to know that the wide receiver has got enough space for him to do what he has to do over here, even though you can't see him on the screen when you're doing that. So let's look at that again. Look at the right foot of the quarterback. When I motion him over, boom, then I'll snap it. It just gives him a little more grass to play with. That's my indicator, though. It's just looking at that right foot. Anyway, that'd be my main man beater. You got a flat route with the fullback, but he's covered. I don't know if it would help if you do this, but the corner's on him, so I don't know if that's going to help much either. Your running back, this could be interesting against man. You bring him over. Give him a little extra room, or you can leave him back there. I don't know if that's going to help. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. But my main man beater is going to be my wide receiver. You can either motion him or not. Wow, that's a perfect play right there by the corner. We can try that again. And if you don't feel like you have enough room, you can either do it from there, or you can move him over here. He'll have a whole lot more room this way. Just a terrible throw by the quarterback. We can try that again. Let's see. There we go. That's a little bit better. You can do that as well if you want. Now, against zone, we can go up against a cover 2. I don't think it's going to matter which one we go with. Let's go corners, and let's do basic cover 2. My cover 2 beater is probably going to be this. We can fix do a different color. I forgot. Let's go with a sharp red this time. This is probably my main zone beater right here. That's an I and an N. But this is my main zone beater, regardless of what happens. If it's quarters, if there's a hole, or if there's a hole over the middle due to blitzing or whatnot, I may go to him. Everybody else, I'm probably not going to bother with. So this is either go to my halfback or my tight end. So you may like to use this play if you got a really good halfback and a good tight end. like with Drummer and Morgan, this play probably could have worked fairly decent. But that's a good defense there. I threw it too early. There we go. I got to throw a little harder. You can get some yards there. I'm not seeing a hole over the middle. So we just go over here. If there's a hole over the middle, I hope I can replicate this. Let's try. Quarters is usually a decent one to attempt. There we go. You see a hole over the middle right there? That's your quarters beater. Or if you just see a hole in general, it may not be quarters. It may be a blitz cover 3 of some sort. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go over here. He could be your main zone beater. Look, against quarters, look how wide open he was. It's just up to you how you want to do it. Not a very good throw, but that's my main zone beater right there. So just go after those two guys against zone. Okay, next up, we have a run play. So let's go back to practice type. Go to normal. And it is fullback blast. Now, again, I have my backup halfback. We can stay on the right hash is fine. But this is no different than ISO. It's just trying to find a hole, and it's a really quick run play out of the gate. You can, if you want, you can try to get to the outside like this. Make something happen with it. I'm not seeing a huge shift. We can try to go up the gut here. It's so quick, though. Right guard gets demolished there. We can go to the left. You can flip it. You can go to the right. You can go to the left. Good hole right there. Just don't abuse the speed button if you can help it. But it's no different than ISO. Man or zone, it's no different in terms of your responsibilities or your roles for it. Next up is halfback screen. This is going to be kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever called this play before, but we're going to do this off the left hash. I'm going to do this against random formation. They're going zone. I got one zone beater. That's my halfback. The problem is you're under center. When you're under center, you may not have enough time to give it to them. We got lucky there. They're going zone again. I just keep backing up and wait. But nobody's getting a block on that guy. So what maybe you can do, they're going man this time. Against man, if you see cover 0, go over the top if you can. Problem is you may not have enough time to do it. If you don't feel like you have enough time, just go to the halfback. We'll see if we got enough time to throw to the receiver. And they went cover 1, so I'm an idiot for throwing in that direction. Let's try that again. I didn't see where are they? They are zone. Let's move him over there. Maybe that's a good distraction for the safety. Either way, they're going zone, so we're going to go to the halfback. He pitched it that time. May get some decent yards here. Let's try that again. They're going zone. Let's take a shot and move him over here again. Just pretty much an extra blocker. Keep backing up, and I do just a basic press of the button. Looks like they're going zone. If I left him over there, that's one less guy that can block for me. So maybe it is in your best interest to bring your receiver over against zone. Sometimes you got to get off a little quicker than normal. But you can get some decent yards out of it, depending. But if it's man, I would probably leave the wide receiver open over there because he's got so much yards or grass to play with. But they're going cover 2, so we'll just go to the halfback. And hopefully you get some blocking. The problem with the man is you just don't get as good enough blocking. Against zone, it's a little bit better. But as you see here, we lost the yardage. So we can go up against, I like a cover 2. And I'll show you. You go to him, and that was just a terrible throw. If I threw it harder, I don't know. If you throw it, I'm fixing to get sacked. I could do the pass skeleton, but that's going to be unrealistic because you got to understand what you're facing when you're doing a screen from under center. This is what normally is going to happen. Is that right there? If you were in the shotgun, it'd be a little bit different. So the problem is you just don't have a whole lot of room to work with. You don't have hardly any time to give it to them. You got to throw it quick. But you can't have certain plays like that where you get decent yardage. So that's not a bad play, but just understand you're under center. It's going to be tough. Next up, we got fullback dive. I'm surprised they put that in here because it's no different than fullback blast. But there you go, fullback. I mean, technically there is a difference. If you notice here, in fullback blast, you got your fullback over here, and your halfback is blocking over here. But if you look at fullback dive, they're both on the same side. I don't know if that helps with blocking or what. I'm just not really sure, to be honest. But we'll go up against just any random play from the formation. You can go left or right. Like here we go in right, or we can go left. Just not much there. We can go to the left again. Just it almost feels like this play doesn't even let you go to the outside if you feel like you needed to. It's really quick. Going man here, but everybody's kind of shifting in that direction. To me, it seems like a wasted play because you already have fullback blast, and it feels exactly the same. They could have used this slot for something else a little more creative. We don't need both fullback blast and dive, but you can have plays like this where you can really do some damage. You just got to follow your blocks and such. Next up, we have tight end flats. Because we have a curl flat to the right side, I would prefer to call this on the right hash. So let's go back to pass skeleton. Go flats. Let's go up against cover 0. Let's look at what our cover 0 options are. You got one. You technically got 2 deep routes. Here's your 2 halfbacks, or your fullback and halfback. The problem is I think they take a little too long to develop. Look at that. Now the fullback finally makes his cut. Or if you go to the halfback, now he cuts upfield. It takes a little time. I don't know if it's in your best interest to maybe hot route one of them to a go, a little bit easier, a little quicker. I know it's just up to you how you want to do it. But neither one is all that great. Like, I can even motion him as is. I've done that a little too early. Oh, wow, he got big separation there. I wonder why. Let's try that again. Let's do that. Goes up the sideline this time. That's just a bad throw. Neither one is that very good of a man beater. Now, here's the other issue with this play is the curl route. Curl routes are hit and miss in 06. You have to throw it when he sets his feet. The problem is this corner is going to be all over this cat. Like, it's not going to even be close. So, like, we can try to throw it to him. And then you got your halfback in the way. That's not even that good either. You may have to motion this guy out of the way from the get-go. He's got his feet set, and we're able to get 10 yards. It's great when the play works. The problem is the corner can really do damage on you and can maybe pick that off. Let's see if we can move this halfback out of the way. You can already see it. This play's got some problems. A little too early. It just, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it because there's no other decent man beaters to work off of. You got 2 flat routes. You could throw it to it quick, but there's just not much going to come from that. If I moved it over here and try to go to the other tight end on the flat, he's not going to get much out of it. So against man, it's not very good. Against zone, you really only have one option, kind of, sort of. Like we go against basic cover 2 is fine. You only have one from what I can tell. Let's not get your tight end on the right in your basic flat concept with the flat route. That's it, really. Oh, you can maybe try this. Like on the left, just because you got a high-low read, maybe this fullback can distract the corner. It was a bad throw. That's why he got in. He had to run for that ball. I don't know. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. I don't know if it'll help if you bring your fullback over. Make it a little bit quicker to distract the corner, maybe? I don't know. I just can't really tell. So maybe you're better off as a left hash play. At least your go route, like your best one, has a better option. I know they're not going cover 0 here, but just trying to prove a point. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the play in general. I'm seeing too many issues with it. I think you can make something work, but it's just not a whole lot there. All right, next up, we have a run play. Let's see. What's next? It's lead toss. Now, we all know how we feel about this play. We'll play it anyways. Lead toss is like any other toss play in this game. The blocking is just a hit or miss. It really depends on the defense and what they're going to do blitzing-wise. But normally, this ain't a bad run here, but that's not the norm. You can flip it. You can go left or right. We'll go right again. And we're going to get some yards out of it. Let's just test it some more. Here's what I normally see. And get a few yards. We can try... He's being double teamed. Let's move the wide receiver over this time and see what happens. This is what I normally see right there. Somebody comes right on through. But when the blocking's there, man, it's a really good play, you know. And that was dumb on my part. Let's leave it as is. I guess we're going to the left. Like I said, when the blocking's there, it looks like a lot of fun. Otherwise, you're going to have... not bad. I don't know. I have more problems with it than good stuff, unfortunately. I wish it worked. That way I wouldn't have to bother with my version of the toss, which works fine. The problem is the pitch is perfect on this play. Every time. It's always a perfect pitch. You'll never have to worry about your quarterback goofing up on that one. I'm having more success with it than not right now, which I think is kind of funny. We're going zone here. We can get an extra blocker, maybe. There we go. That's what I'm used to seeing. Anyway, you know how I feel about halfback toss. Okay, next up, we got PA rollout. Because we got a high-low read on the right side, this is going to be a right hash play for me. So let's go cover 0. Let's bring this back to pass skeleton. Go here. Let's go cover 0. From what I can tell, you actually got a couple. Cover 0 beaters. Let's go with blue this time. You got a couple cover 0 beaters. You got your fullback who could get wide open. That's cover 0, my bad. It's cover 0. Or you can try to go to your corner route over here, cover 0, but it's a little hit and miss. Otherwise, you're going to go to one of your tight ends underneath. So when it's cover 0, we can try the fullback. A medium press, he can maybe get some separation, but you saw the fullback make a great play right there. Or the linebacker, sorry. Oh, he's double teamed. That was a smart play, Al. You can try the corner out. The problem with the corner out, he doesn't have a whole lot of... That's a terrible throw. This quarterback's terrible. Try it again. I guess they're going... Interesting. He keeps going cover 0. I thought I picked cover 0. Guess I didn't. There we go. That's a little bit better. Cover 1's a possibility as well, but you can have situations like this. I think you have the time to throw really well. We can try it again. Maybe you have to throw it kind of hard. Maybe? I don't know. It's still a bit of a hit and miss, but I think with a fullback like with Myers, I think he could do some damage with a play like this. Can you imagine? You got a time to throw really well. Like I'm throwing it kind of hard. So this play might actually work with Myers. But if you don't see that, I would go to one of the tight ends, like maybe to the delayed route. Of course, he fumbled it there. You got a crosser that's in the way of the tight end. That's not good. You don't want both of them right beside each other. The spacing isn't very good with this play. You can tell. Against man, this isn't a very good play at all. Maybe if you see cover 0, you may want to use this as an audible. Something like this. I can see that as maybe a good cover 0 beater if you're going to go with that route. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, you see a cover 2. Then you're kind of hurting. You're just kind of have to wait and see what's best here. You could try this on the left hash. The problem is, I don't know if your fullback is as effective on this go route. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this play. This play might work. And it's not bad. It's just something to play around with. Maybe it's best on the left hash. Go over here. The problem is, if your fullback isn't going to get open, you're really hurting with the other routes. There's just not a whole lot to play around with here. You can do cover 1 or cover 0 there, but if you go up against zone, like we can go up against a cover 2, your only option really is like your delayed tight end. Something like this. Your corner route's not going to get open. He's just not a factor anyways because of that corner. There's not a whole lot of options. Again, I mean, your tight end over the middle, that's not going to be much of an option if there's a hole there because it's too quick. To be honest, I don't think this is a very good play. I just don't think the routes work well together, so you may have to do some hot routing to make that work. I don't know. Let's go to halfback lead. Halfback lead, I think it's a little bit slower than the slam, but it's pretty much... it looks like an off-tackle play. Wow, they really make it an off-tackle play. If you go back and look at the image itself, it looks like a B-gap run. But you can obviously tell when you snap it, it goes to the outside. I like how quick it is. That's surprising. And not a very good block there. Let's try it again. It looks like we're going to go to the left. Good block. There was one good block. The other one not so much. Are they going man? Yes, they're going man. Let's go to the right this time. Just nobody picked up that guy. It feels like a slam, but just a little bit more to the outside. So this is technically like a C-gap run in a way. That's really good blocking there. We're not going to get much yards because that guy's going to tackle me. We're going zone. Cut up field here. I like this play. It's not bad. And, of course, you can flip it if needed. That's a good cut up the inside there. So if you want to treat this as a pure outside run, you can. You can use slam as both inside and out. And then you can use ISO as in as much as you can. So that's not a bad run play. I like that. Next up, we got tight end crosses. I really like this play for the main reason. Let's go over here. This is a right hash play to me because our short zone beater is the tight end on the left side. But against cover zero, you can go over the top. Fixing to get sacked. I know I'm going up against a heavy blitz, but there we go. Cover zero beater there. But if it's not cover zero, if it's a cover one or a two, I would prefer... Let's go here. A great man beater is your tight end on the right. So when you go here, he can get decent separation. Nice 10-yard gain there. Or can be a 10-yard gain if the throw's right. He had to come back for that one. You can also go to your other tight end. He's double teamed, which is not what you want to see. Interesting, he's double teamed, yet the defense didn't call for it. But anyway, what I would do here is this. Dang it. This is my zero beater. This is my main man beater. Just, you could go to him regardless. Cover with 0, 1, and 2. And this could be your last option. Depending. But I think this guy will always be open unless he's double teamed. So again, zone, this is the reason why I like it on the right hash. Now this is a drop back play, so you can flip it if need be and use it on the left. If you go up against a cover 3, it's your tight end on the left that can get open underneath. Just like any simple short zone beater. And that was a bad, he got caught up and he still made some good yards out of it. Bad throw. Let's try it again. My halfback got in the way. That's not even good. If my tight end doesn't get caught up on anybody, that's a little bit better. He can get about 6 yards there. The rest of it, it's kind of tough against zone. There's nothing else that gets open. Like you can attempt, like the other two guys just don't get open. And your halfback on the delayed route's kind of a waste. So your only zone beater, in my opinion, right now, from what I can tell, is your tight end right there. But he's a very good one. Okay. So this is a great play to me. If you got two good tight ends with a decent wide receiver, I recommend this. This is also in weak tight, in strong tight, but I think the wide receiver runs a little bit different route of some sort. I like the one from weak tight better because your halfback does something different. I forgot what it was. There's something that makes it just a little bit better, I thought. But either way, I like this play a whole lot, especially if you got two decent tight ends that can make plays. Next up, we have our last 3 sets when we got triple option counter. This is just your triple option series stuff here. Let's see, they're shifting hard that way. I don't see a big hole over the middle. For me, it depends. I've talked about it before. You can either try to read the play side linebacker or just see if there's a hole there. For me, it's easier if there's just a hole there. And if there's a hole, don't know what happened there. If there's a hole, I'll pitch it. If not, I'm going to keep it. I don't see a big hole there. Of course, I got a really slow quarterback, so this isn't going to show up too well. But triple option counter is really no different than basic triple. you just go to the side where the players are not, the defensive players. A bit of a hole there. Just your basic triple. Not much to it. Then you got triple option pass. If you see, we can try this. I don't know if it's going to work. You go to the fullback, but if not, I'm going to fix it to get sacked. I went to the wrong guy. Your cover zero beater is your tight end on the left. If you have time to throw it. Something like this, not too bad. Good play by the corner, though. If you don't see cover zero, you can try to go to your comeback route over here. Of course, he's double teamed. But that's kind of it for your passing routes. You can also, this is, honestly, it's like a PE read if you think about it. It's like an inside zone PE read type of look. You can just go down if you need to, but if they're going man, if you're not feeling a whole lot of heat, you can try to go over the top, cover zero. Or I forgot he keeps getting double teamed. If it's zone, I would just do the run stuff. There's none of those routes are good against man. I mean, you could try this over here if you want to as well. Of course, I'm fixing to get sacked. We can try up against a cover 2 or something. We can see if that post is decent against cover 2. I don't think it is. I think it's too far inward. He was wide open. Let's try that again. He looked wide open. Not a bad little play if the guy can make the throw or the catch. Fixing to get sacked, though. I guess you got to read that weak side. If you're feeling any type of heat, you may have to do that. Otherwise, you can go over the top there. Huh, that's interesting. I'll have to play around with this play more. Otherwise, my gut tells me if it's zone, I'm just going to do basic run stuff here. It's just not worth it. There's just not enough passing options to attack zone well enough. If I see a hole, I may want to try to go up the middle there. Of course, he's going to fumble it. You can look for a hole. You could treat it like triple. Find the hole first. If you don't see it, then you can maybe go over the top here. That's an interesting little play. It's just something I'm going to have to play around with. I haven't done enough of it, though. But it's pretty neat. I like it. It feels like a PE read in a way. All right. Last but not least is basic triple option. It's no different than triple. We can just stay over here. Saw a little bit of a hole. Picked up 5 yards there. You can flip it either direction. Perfect defense by the linebacker. Everybody and their brother is doing that, so maybe we'll go to the right. Not feeling a hole there. Perfect defense. My center got blown up. Not seeing a hole there. Just pitch it. Again, it's just your basic triple option stuff. It's hard to make this look legit. I can't control. If I could control both offense and defense, I'll be able to show a few other things besides what I'm doing here. Like I can force holes to get open if I was the defense and such, but I just can't do that. I could probably hook up 2 controllers and maybe get close to that. But again, this is your basic triple option. Okay, that is it. Let's do a quick rundown. ISO, I like. PA fullback flat. To me, this would probably be a good red zone play if you really want to get your fullback going. Or your wide receiver, maybe. I don't like it because you can't flip it unless you got a lefty quarterback. So it's only a righty quarterback type of play. And it's a little slow. Triple is triple. Counter, that's a terrible play. Maybe the worst play in the formation. PA boot, I like a whole lot. You can flip it on either side without any issues. Only downside is it's not the best against man. Slam is maybe the best run play in this formation. Tight end corners is not terrible. It's basically a one read play. It's pretty much going to your wide receiver most of the time. Fullback flat or fullback blast, it is what it is. Halfback screen, any screen from under center going to the halfback is just too hard. Fullback dive is the same as blast. I just don't see why they had both of them in there. Tight end flats, I really didn't like at all. It's just there's a lot of toughness going on there. You only got like one decent zone beater. Your cover zero beaters aren't very good, and your one main man beater, the curl route, it's an iffy situation as well. Lead toss, we all know how bad we know about that play. PA rollout, I think that would be an audible for me. just if I want to get that fullback out on cover 0, cover 1 maybe. Halfback lead, this was my most surprising play of the formation. I didn't know how out wide it went and how quick it was. I was real surprised by that, so I can see myself using that in the future. Tight end crosses may be my favorite pass play in the formation. All 3 routes work really well, even though the halfback delayed comeback route is nothing special. I really like what the tight ends are doing there. Triple counter, triple option pass, triple option. It's all triple option. But one thing I may want to fool around with is the triple option pass. I think there's some possibilities there if I played around with it enough. I just got to get around to doing it. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And in the next video, hopefully we'll get into our off-season shenanigans with Murray State. Should be a lot of fun. I know that's what everybody's looking forward to. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.